Chapter 5, 197, True Inheritance Secluded Domain, Unexpected Event. Translator, Chibi General Editor, Chibi General. The appearance of two great immortal goo was way out of her expectations. Mo Yao was very surprised. What was even more scary was, Fang Yuan had made ample preparations. The goo worms he used were originally treasures kept inside the crystal walls. His killer move was even more perfect than Grey Meltdown, and had stronger effect. To get to this point, it was not something a single person could achieve. In fact, this could not be achieved with merely decades of setup. Huge amounts of strength and effort needed to be invested, at least hundreds of years of infiltration in order to hide all the goo worms inside the crystal walls, and to prevent the goo worms from being taken away by people, they needed to prepare several of each goo. All in all, this was not something a person or an ordinary force could accomplish. It had to be a super force with goo immortals at least. Against Mo Yao's suspicion, Fang Yuan smiled lightly and did not speak. All these were the setup of Central Continent's goo immortals. But Mo Yao had died long ago. Her will was slumbering within Water Pavilion and was unaware of the changes in the outside world. Fang Yuan was someone who had been reborn. He had a huge advantage using the goo immortals setup. He could accomplish all of this successfully. To speak the truth, he should thank those Central Continent goo immortals who went around to distribute the footage. Without the guidance of this clip, Fang Yuan would not be so sure of the inside information of 88 True Yang Building. His method was inherently the same as He Lulan's, but Fang Yuan was sensing his own immortal goo, while He Lulan was sensing other people's mortal goo. Refining an immortal goo was at least 100 times as difficult as refining a mortal goo. Thus, Fang Yuan was not in such a rush for time, unlike He Lulan. The two immortal goo were constantly in a state of half-refinement. Most importantly, the refinement path killer move that Fang Yuan activated was the revised version of Grey Meltdown that Central Continent's goo immortals had painstakingly researched in. It had an amazing effect, freeing the goo master and saving them the trouble of facing backlash, as 88 True Yang Building would be the one enduring the pressure. At the same time, he had to thank all of the goo masters who charged through the rounds enthusiastically. If the rounds were intact, Fang Yuan would need to traverse 100 rounds to communicate with the immortal goo. It would be filled with difficulty. But there were only 17 rounds left on the 21st floor, and the 34th floor had even fewer rounds, at 12. After Fang Yuan successfully took the two immortal goo, these two floors were passed automatically. He took out the two owner tokens. The glass owner token was still at 6 edges. After all, it was a cheat item and was not authentic. Meanwhile, the owner token snatched from He Lulan had turned from 2 edges to 4 edges. Combining the two, they were 10 edges. 10 edges, that meant that Fang Yuan had met the minimum requirements to receive an immortal venerable inheritance. Immortal venerable inheritance. Fang Yuan chuckled. According to what was shown in the footage, he combined the two owner tokens and created the 10-edge owner token. Swoosh. The next moment, he vanished on the spot. The scenery before him changed drastically. When Fang Yuan finally reacted, he found himself in an area of void. The surroundings were pure darkness. There was neither heaven or earth. Fang Yuan was floating silently in the air. Several traces of green or red starlight shone from far away. This is 88 True Yang Building's True Inheritance Secluded Domain. To think that after so many years, I can come here again. Mo Yao's will was surprisingly dejected and downcast as she muttered to herself. Eh? You've been here before? Fang Yuan's heart jumped. Back then? I'm not going to talk about it. It is your greatest fortune to be able to come here. Although with 10 edges, you can only receive the lowest grade ordinary true inheritance. But this will not hinder you from gaining some knowledge and experience. What you are going to see will surely broaden your vision. You will never forget it. In just a moment, Mo Yao's will went back to normal. Fang Yuan laughed. Mo Yao's arrogant tone did not make him angry. In fact, he nodded in agreement. Giant Sun, immortal, venerable. I cannot compare to him yet. Today this will indeed hugely broaden my vision. Saying this, he waved his hands like he was swimming in water, moving his body forward slowly. In the video from Central Continent in his previous life, there were many details omitted during this period. Central Continent's Gu Immortals invested more heavily than Fang Yuan. They used more than 10 Immortal Gu to raise the owner token to 43 edges. They gained a lot, but all of the gains were concealed. Such an act was no doubt a defensive measure to prevent attracting the greed of the viewers. This, however, increased Fang Yuan's interest and anticipation towards Giant Sun's true inheritances. He followed after a blood-red starlight, getting closer to it. As he got closer, the starlight became brighter, and eventually, Fang Yuan stopped before a round circular light. This lump of red starlight was the size of a bowl, silently floating around. This is an ordinary true inheritance. If you want to understand the contents, you just need to let your consciousness enter it, Mo Yao advised at the appropriate timing. Fang Yuan was carefully navigating with his mind as images flashed before him. A grand and huge ancient forest, ancient and tall trees, beasts at the size of mountains. Ha ha ha! A person with a broad shoulder and thin waist was laughing with his head facing up. His image was blurred, but his skin was covered in rainbow colors. As ancient totems of every description were carved on it, his dominating presence pervaded heaven and earth. He stepped on the gray clouds and treaded strong winds. His purple hair was fluttering as there were seemingly flames burning within his double pupil eyes. Fang Yuan saw this and his heart was pounding. He could feel difficulty breathing. He recognized this person immediately. This is one of the 3 demon venerables of the olden antiquity era, reckless savage demon venerable. He is facing the immemorial desolate beast, primordial ash owl. Strange. Why is there a demon venerable's item within Giant Sun's inheritances? What's so strange about this? Giant Sun Immortal Venerable was the venerable of an era, the supreme ruler of heaven and earth, the invincible being in the universe. He searched the entire world and obtained an item of reckless savage demon venerable, placing it inside his building for his descendants. This is very normal, Mo Yao said. Immemorial desolate beast, overlords that had existed within heaven and earth since the immemorial era, they had rank 8 Gu Immortal battle strength. This primordial ash owl had a bird head and beast body. It had 2 pairs of golden pupils and a dragon's horn on its head. Its muscular body was covered in thick rainbow feathers. Its bestial aura could overwhelm the world. And its limbs moved quickly and could easily destroy mountains and rivers. With one growl, its voice could travel 10,000 li, causing ripples in the air of the entire world. Reckless savage. Demon venerable praised. Good beast. The primordial ash owl had intelligence that it could rival men. It got angry upon hearing that, shooting out thunder like that of the heavens from its mouth. The blue thunderbolt shot out and pierced 10,000 li into the sky, instantly arriving before reckless savage demon venerable. Fang Yuan's expression changed. The magnitude of the lightning and thunder was beyond his imagination. Right now he was like an ant, but even if it was his Gu immortal self from his past life, he could not survive for 3 breaths' time from this. But reckless, savage, demon venerable did not move at all. He allowed the frenzied thunderbolt to hit his body directly. From within the electricity, his bronze-colored body was intact, shining brightly. His muscles were like stone blocks, and all the totems on his body were like living beings, as all sorts of fierce beasts were roaming on his body. From within the exploding lightning plasma, reckless savage demon venerable's face showed an expression of enjoyment. He laughed heartily as he punched with his right fist. Bam! Immediately heaven and earth changed colors, as winds and clouds moved violently. The lightning vanished slowly, mountains were trembling, and forests were weeping. With just one punch, the intense winds blew like an apocalypse. The clouds in the sky vanished. The heavens were stripped bare, and permeating sunlight dispelled all darkness. Just one punch. With the intensity of the force that repelled ghosts and deities, the primordial ash owl was crying out pitifully. It was an immemorial desolate beast, an overlord of a region. It was untamable and wild earlier, giving off a strong aura, but the next moment, its bones were crushed to bits as its rainbow feathers floated in the air. Its golden pupils were full of fear, and it laid on the ground like a dead dog. Fang Yuan was completely moved. This was the first time he had seen the attack of a venerable. Reckless, savage, demon venerable. With the prowess of rank 9, he was truly invincible in all heaven and earth. 9,999th Ash Owl. Reckless, savage, demon venerable said plainly, opening his palm and grabbing the air. The next moment, the primordial ash owl was held by a formless strength. It was like a chicken that was grabbed by a butcher. It was helpless and was shrieking for help. Transform! Reckless, savage. Demon Venerable's body shuddered. He expanded along with the wind, becoming a giant in an instant. What a true giant! He was as tall as heaven and earth, as if he could grab the sun if he wished. No tribulations could move him, as he could barely be held by the universe itself. The giant slowly opened his mouth, as the primordial ash owl struggled intensely, and yet to no avail as it was sent into the giant's mouth. The giant swallowed in one mouthful, chewing several times with a sound as if a mountain collapsed, lightning striking everywhere. It was loud as thunder. With a gulp, the giant sent the primordial ash owl into its stomach. He actually ate an immemorial desolate beast, a rank 8 level existence, just like that. The prowess of reckless savage, it was truly terrifying. After eating this rank 8 desolate beast, the giant patted his stomach. The sound was loud as thunder, but his expression was like he did not have enough. And on his belly, there was a new totem in the form of the primordial ash owl, but among the innumerable totems on his body, it was not eye-catching. The giant seemed to have sensed something, as he suddenly turned around and looked straight at Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan fell on the ground like he had suffered a huge blow, vomiting out a mouthful of blood in the process. His soul was trembling intensely. A strong sense of dizziness assaulted him, only recovering after a long time. Gasp, gasp, gasp. He breathed roughly, barely opening his eyes. His eyes could not take it either, as 2 streams of bloody tears flowed out, flowing from his face towards the ground. But thankfully, this place did not restrict goo worms. Such an injury could be easily healed with goo worms. This is the test of the inheritance? Fang Yuan healed himself as he asked. Hey, what sort of test is this? In his mind, Mo Yao was gloating, replying in an arrogant tone. This inheritance has a trace of reckless savage demon venerable's will within it. Only goo immortals could withstand it. But after getting this inheritance, giant sun immortal venerable had already modified it such that mortals could endure it. You owe it to giant sun immortal venerable's mercy that you are still alive. Fang Yuan snorted coldly. His mercy is only towards his bloodline descendants. What does that have to do with me? Anyway, giant sun true inheritances are not so easy to obtain. There is great danger inside. That is, of course, the case, but you have already survived this test, and remember that this true inheritance is only an ordinary true inheritance. With the 10-edge owner token, you already have the authority to inherit it, Mo Yao said. As expected, when Fang Yuan's mind entered, the red light lump opened its doors, as reckless savage demon venerable's figure did not appear again. Primordial ash owl transformation. Fang Yuan realized now that this was a transformation path killer move. This killer move could allow a goo immortal to transform into the primordial ash owl, gaining a huge boost in strength. Reckless savage demon venerable was the progenitor of strength path, but he was also the creator of transformation path. His strength could shake heaven and earth. He was the fiercest venerable out of the 10. At the same time, he could transform into countless fierce beasts, having an endless number of transformations, and he could even revive from a drop of blood. Fang Yuan did not hesitate. He let go of the red light lump and allowed it to fly away from him. Although the true inheritance was precious, it did not suit him currently. Fang Yuan was very calm and held even more expectations. To think that within Giant Sun's true inheritances, there would be something involving reckless, savage demon venerable, and this particular inheritance was only the lowest grade ordinary true inheritance. He could not imagine what other ordinary true inheritances there could be. As for the even greater unparalleled true inheritance, what would they be? He moved his arms and swam towards another area within this silent and dark void.